Far Cry 4 has its fair share of odd bugs, but it was actually stable enough for us to properly test. So welcome to our graphics cards showdown, where we will give you guys the lowdown on which cards perform best from AMD or from Nvidia in this exciting new game. Also make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to do the same thing with Dragon Age Inquisition, which also just launched. We'll be doing that very shortly.
Corsair Gaming RGB keyboards feature precision Cherry MX RGB key switches for 16.8 million color per key backlighting for virtually unlimited customization. Click now to learn more.
Okay, so like I said, it's a little buggy. VSync doesn't seem to always turn off, even when you tell it to, and even forcing it off in the driver only sometimes works. I did notice, however, that if I tabbed out of the game and then tabbed back in, VSync would properly turn off. Pretty weird. Also, the tearing was insane. Some of the worst Jello-like tearing I've ever seen, but yet again, if you tab out and then tab back in, it fixes it permanently, for that playthrough at least. If you want to see more about the different bugs and the specific settings in the game, I would recommend checking out Total Biscuit's port report for Far Cry 4, as he covers it very well. We test all of our games essentially right at launch, because we know this is when many people will be playing the game, and it's when many people will be interested in whether or not their card will be able to run the game, so sometimes there's optimization issues for AMD or for Nvidia. In this case, Nvidia has the upper hand with an extremely recent driver, and both at 1080p and 4K there is an observable disparity between the two. Never fear though, AMD users, I'm sure there will be a beta driver for you guys with an update sometime soon, but for now, this is how your card will perform. When running at 4K, we ran into some VRAM issues below 3GB, and even our 780 Ti with 3GB of VRAM was essentially maxed out. Also, there's a little bit of a bug when changing settings. My settings for 4K was 3840 by 2160 and the high preset. This would result in some horrible performance unless I went back into the settings afterwards and selected Reset to Defaults, which changed, as far as I could tell, nothing, as it left the resolution and preset the same. But this did solve any odd performance issues I had and ran the game exactly as I actually expected. Now before I show you guys the runs so you can see how your rig stacks up on your own, I want to remind the longtime viewers that we are no longer running our gaming benchmarks with overclocked graphics cards. So these cards will be running at their factory clock speeds. Also, for new viewers who are wondering why we used a massively overclocked 6-core for our test bench when that configuration is very uncommon, it's because we want to minimize CPU bottlenecks as much as we possibly can so that we can actually see the performance differences between these graphics cards themselves. So now that that's all out of the way, I'll run you guys through our benchmarking run so you can see how to do it on your own. Our run takes place right on the other side of the door after you're released from dinner, very close to the beginning of the game. The reason why this is pretty close to the beginning of the game is, one, I didn't have a ton of time, and two, because you can't really manage multiple saves. There's a new game option, which is nice coming from Unity, but there's no other option other than that. Once you get through this first door and you skip the interrogation room, this guy will talk to you for a little bit and then lead you to the door, at which point the action will really start. This part is a little bit dead though.
We need to get you out of here safely, no matter the cost. Darban would understand. Now stay close. Shit, they know we're here. The door! Quickly!
Funny tidbit, I actually have no idea what any of them say at this point because I've never played the game with audio.
Head down and make a run for the truck. Move as fast as you can. Understand?
Yeah, I got it.
1, 2, 3.
Alright, as I start pouring through the door, your turn will come up last. As you come through the door, it gives you a tip to run with shift, at which you will do that. Run down the hill, watch the explosions, do all that kind of stuff, but try to face forward pretty much the entire time and don't look anywhere to keep the framing similar for every one of your runs. Getting into the car is simple by holding E, not just by pressing it, so run up to the car and hold E. As of this point, you're pretty much done, to be completely honest, as you are not driving the truck that you just jumped into. and you just kind of sit inside seat and shoot the gun. But you don't even necessarily have to, as I don't think you can lose so far. But either way, we right trigger to aim down sight and shoot at these guys a little bit, and then just drive on past. One thing to remember is to keep your framing facing forward, however, the entire time. As we come up around this corner, you'll see a whole bunch of guys on quads come down the hill. And right as the guy kind of rams into the side of your truck, the test will probably end right about there. These are 2-minute segments. You will not make it around this corner. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see that Dragon Age Inquisition video, which should be coming fairly soon. Like, dislike, comment about what you think about Ubisoft, because that's popular these days. Subscribe, share, and jump over to the forum, talk to people there, buy a shirt, which isn't from Twitch, and click on the Support Us link to change your Amazon bookmarks to ours so we get a small kickback whenever you buy things. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.